Right here we have JavaScript file open. We have a file called main.js. So this is where we are going to write our JavaScript codes. So here we are going to talk about strings. So like we talked about before, the example we showed for strings, we said strings are a series of characters enclosed in a quote. So how do we declare that? We can say let name equal to Michael. Good. So right like this, the computer understands this as a string. It doesn't know that this is Michael. Could be further degraded into zeros and ones, but this is what it understands, characters. So we as human can see it as Michael. So the computer treats this as a string, a collection of characters. So as you see here, we are using double quote. Single quote is still valid. But if we are using a single quote in the beginning, we should also use it in the end. So let name equal to Michael. We can use a constant if we want the name to be unchangeable. Okay, so this is how we use it for single quote, and for double quote we can still say let LGA be equal to 1 2 3. Say let address be equals to 1 2 3 somewhere street. So this is going to be considered a string, irrespective of this number here. They are all characters in the quote world. Okay, so that's string. And when we talk about numbers, we are simply saying, for example, let age be equal to 100. So this is basically a number. It doesn't require any special feature like quotes, anything else. Just type in the number. And know that this is different from this. This is a string, while this is an absolute number. Okay, so we also talked about float. Say let height be equal to 191.5 centimeters. So this is a float because it's a decimal. It's considered a float. And remember, this is different from this. This is a string while this is a number. Okay. So we also talked about Boolean. Boolean, my keyboard. Boolean. So Boolean is a data that is basically true or false, right? So when I say is logged in, set it to be equal to true. So I need to use the let keyword. Okay, so anywhere in this code, I know that this value or this variable has a value of true. We can still say false. Remember, this is not a string. We are not putting quotes around it. If we put quotes around it, it becomes string, and it's not going to be treated as a Boolean would. A Boolean is more straightforward. And undefined is when you declare a value, say let x is declared, but it is not defined. When you define it, you simply put equal to sign and put the value, right? So that is that for undefined. I'll have to put that in the comments. So we also have the null. Null, like we said, represents an intentional absence of value in a memory. So we can actually say, let home be equal to null. The difference between undefined and not defined is undefined is a value, a variable that is declared but never assigned any value, while not defined is a value that is not even declared at all in this environment. Let's say in the whole of our JavaScript code, we don't have anything such as position. So if I should go ahead and write position, this value, when trying to access this value, it will show you not defined. If you hover on it, it's showing any because it is not found in this environment. So this will throw an error which is not defined. Okay, so we also talked about non-primitive data types. So now let's take a look at objects. See, object has this syntax. So in real life, we will have an object like this, say a person, put it in a constant variable of person, and we set it to be this block. So the key, let's say if the features of a person will be name, which we will put it to a string, say Michael. Oh, my bad. And then we say height. We say 191.7, and we say language. We say English. Good. So this is an object, key value pairs. So this is a key and this is the value. Height, language, name. So they are all properties of a person. Right. So we can have an array of person, array of people. So we'll get into that much later. So this is basically how you can represent an object. So arrays, we also talked about arrays. So arrays is basically a list of items, and the syntax to represent an array is basically using the square bracket. So whatever enters there and separated by comma is considered an item.